Today, I want to talk to you about setbacks, turning setbacks into stepping stone. So, think about anything that you do in life, anything that you go after, right? Whether you be an entrepreneur or whatever goal you set yourself up to, you will have setbacks, right? So, what we do in our setbacks, wherever we set our mind to, either we set our mind into not moving forward, being completely discouraged, or we look at it as a stepping stone. So first of all, when you go through a step back, right, something, it could be a financial step back. It could be something that happened to you. You might have hired somebody and then they completely disappeared on you. That happened to me a lot, right? What do you do with that? And what happens to you? If you're not careful, it could set you way back and you'll never come back from a setback. But there's a gold with having a setback. So the first thing about a setback is it diminish actually momentum. And when you don't have that momentum, right, it's hard to re-engage in the process. So it destroys momentum, right? So if you got a setback, you're not going to have that same re-engagement that you once had, that same power, that same confidence, because again, something happened. Okay. Well, what would happen? What happens then? You get fixed. You fix on the fact that you lost momentum. And when you fixate your mindset with the fact that you lost momentum, what happens next is that you feel defeated and you feel delusioned. You don't have that fire anymore. You feel like something like hit you out of, and sometimes even grief could happen. You could lose somebody. You could have something happen. Somebody just took off on you in your business. So any of those could happen, and you could really start focusing on how far you have to go versus how far you've come. You could look at how much I'm not doing. Like, man, this took me so long. So you get focused. You calculate on how long the gap of how long it's going to take for you to get back on track. All right. So, and then once you're in that area, once you're in that mindset, the next thing you do, you actually get distracted. You get distracted by excuses or other tasks, and that actually stops the progress. So here it is. Why do we get distracted? Because when we're hurt, we want to like release the pain. So we're going to look at things that are easy, look at things that are safe. Like, that's why people will check their emails. People will get on the phone. They'll do whatever it takes versus really going after it, maybe prospecting, maybe getting new clients. What they're going to do is just to make sure that they're safe and all the things that they do are safe. That basically doesn't cause them to any more pain, right? So that's why I say this distraction causes you to disengage and minimize your progress. Okay. And then what happens when you focus on distraction? Well, what the feeling happens, you feel disconnected. And when you feel disconnected, you can't be in the present. And when you're not in the present, you'll miss many opportunities if you're not connected. And then lastly, once you have all of that, once your momentum is gone, then you're focusing on the lost momentum, and then you're going to dwell on the disappointment. And when you dwell on the disappointment, what it really dwelling on the disappointment becomes a poison to your purpose. Your purpose will be poisoned, meaning that resentment will show up when you are in disappointment. You'll resent yourself, you'll shame yourself, and then you'll forget about your purpose. And when you forget about your purpose, it leaves you aimless and delusional in life. And this is when people go, you know what, this is too hard. This is when I quit. This is when I'll just say, you know what, I just need to do something more safer. This was never from God, right? Then all of a sudden you become delusional and you're not aiming anywhere anymore. So this is the impact of a setback. And before I give you some points of how to overcome all that, give you a story. There was actually two stories, but one story that I heard of, the author of the book Shack, sold a millions copies. It's a great, amazing, amazing spiritual book, right? The guy had some major setbacks. He had an expectation of this book being great, but he didn't. He took the manuscript and he threw it away in the trash. It's such a powerful book that he threw in the trash. It was his wife that came and took out, looked at the trash, grabbed his manuscript, and said, "You know what? This is a good book." So he ended up sending it to his friends, and they all said it was a good book. And he published it, and it sold millions and millions of copies worldwide, changed a lot of people's life by what he wrote. He had some setback. He could have been focusing on the lost momentum that he had because he threw his book away, basically. He could have focused on his disappointment. He could have been disconnected and completely delusional and aimlessly living in life and doing something else. So what about us? What about you? And we might have something that you might give away or you might stop doing or quit on because of a setback. So now that I said all that, I want to give you a few things that you can do to kind of set your mind into and kind of change your perspective about having some setbacks in your life. The number one thing, you need to see setbacks as an opportunity for clarification and alignment for your action, for your purpose. So you need to align your action to your purpose. What does that mean? A lot of times we're just going through life, or we're even whatever it's a be business, we're just being busy, but we're really not aligning or clarifying where we're going. We could just be going. So when you have a setback, it's a time for you to sit back and to be able to see what is going on, clarity. And then we got to go, okay, what are some of the action that I could take to get me to my purpose? Was the action I was taking actually taking me a further away from the goal and the purpose and the dreams that I have? That's the first question, the first thing you want to do. The second thing you want to do also is you want to shift your focus from distraction to daily, consistent action towards progress. I said daily, consistent action towards progress because not all action leads to progress. Some action leads to regression. So what I mean by that is you need to look at some of the things that you're doing, look at the things that you're doing and go, okay, what is the one action that I could take that will move me forward? Sometimes it's just one action. I know for me, it's a 30-minute action time. Those are the things that I don't want to take. I do a 30-minute clock timer, and then I go for that one action that will make the most difference. And then if you want to know the action that will make the most difference is the one that you actually procrastinate, the one that you don't want to do. It's making that phone call. Is maybe checking the numbers in your account to see if you're on track financially. So these are some of the things that we usually don't like to do. And again, the reason why we don't like to do it is because of the setback, because the setback only also set our mind to dismiss, be disillusioned, and then distraction, right? So now everything else is boring, quote unquote. Okay, the last thing is what you want to do is you want to strengthen your commitment by again seeing setback as a process of becoming the person for your purpose. A setback is a process that I believe God uses to shift you, to mold you into the person that he created you, the person for the next level. So strengthen your commitment by seeing, like in other words, you see where you're going, you see who you're becoming, and then you recommit to what's going on versus quitting. You recommit to the process because the process cannot happen, like I said in the beginning of the call, without a setback. Because again, a setback is to clarify where you're going and clarify your action to make sure that your action is attached to your purpose. A setback also allows you to focus on action that creates transformation, right? And also a setback is so created for it's designed for to create something inside of you, a person inside of you that would never happen if you didn't have setback. You say, Mickey, what could come good of me being in setback? Well, you have compassion on your way to the top, on your way to whatever you're doing. You'll have compassion with other people that have setback. You'll understand how hard it is to do what you do. So when somebody that is successful at what you do, you know how hard it is. Those that quit on setback, they're usually the one that are critical on other people's success. Those that quit. So when you have a setback, don't quit, move forward, and remember these lessons that I just shared with you. Thank you so much for watching. Please do comment and share.